Welcome to the Dr. Hutch Show. This is Dr. J.L. Hutchinson, Plan for Impact, coming here live at the Soul San Diego. Tonight, we got a great topic, and continuing what we've been talking about, preparing you for next year. We had a number of topics that we talked about. We want to get you to the next level. And tonight, the title of our show is Why We Don't Give Up. And that's a wonderful thing, because for the past few weeks, we've been talking about some things. Titles of our show in the past 7 weeks, what's wrong with me? Can we do this? Dreams. Believe in your dreams. What will you do different next year? Procrastination. Dealing with that. Fighting with that thing, procrastination. Who wants to be an entrepreneur? Those people that want to make money. We went back to my 7 steps to setting your goal. Part 2. We talked about life. We talked about those things. Things that is important for us to make it. And tonight, why we don't give up. Why don't we give up? And I'm going to talk about the different levels. I'm going to talk about the purpose. I'm going to talk about the plan. I'm going to talk about the prize. Those that are Christians that are listening to my voice, I'm talking about the prize. Why do we fight? Why do we struggle to try to make these things happen? Why? And why we don't give up? We don't give up because of the purpose. Paul said, we don't give up because of the perseverance. We're persistent for the prize. The Christian life was never promised to be an easy way to live. Instead, Paul constantly reminded us that we must have purpose and a plan, because times will be difficult. And people out there that have some times in their life that is difficult right now, and that you can't make it. One of the biggest challenges is why, and where are you today? I was talking to my brother earlier today, and I said, when somebody takes a test, what happens? What do they tell you to do when you take a test?
They tell you to study.
Tell you to study. But when you're taking the test, while you're taking the test, what do they tell you to do?
To be quiet.
To be quiet. Do you know during the test, when God tests you, He's quiet. He doesn't speak to you because He doesn't talk during the test. It's a rule. It is to challenge you so that you can put some action behind the challenges that you face, different obstacles. And when you are challenged, like I've been challenged in my life, I was challenged in my life. Here I am in the real estate business, and when I first got in the real estate business, I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna do this and make these things happen." And the next thing you know, I end up on the brink of losing my own house. How can you be in the real estate business and you lose your own home? It's kind of funny. It's like, well, okay. And then you turn around and you lose your wife. You lose your kids. Then you lose your finances. Why didn't I give up? Because let me tell you about the levels of life as far as what we do. There's a thing about survival. We get in that mode of survival. When we're trying to get something to eat, you ever seen people that are, they would throw food out and people would fight over it?
Ravenous wolves.
Yeah, and they would try to get those things because they want to survive, because we have a will to live. That's the first level of why we don't give up. And the second thing is that when we want to live, not just in survival mode, we just get past survival mode, things are going great, not say great in our life, but we got food on our table, a roof over our head, and what we do, we just have the will to live, and we want to try to make things better. But we faced with all these challenges, and don't have not make enough money on the job only pays so much, and you at these dead-end jobs, you have these different things that happen in your life, and then you see somebody who haven't done half the things that you've done, don't have any of the education that you have, and their life is much better than yours if you're measuring materially. You look at the material things that they have, you say, well, they're doing great. Why are they doing better than I am? The fact of the matter, they're not. Because if you continue to be persistent and continue and go ahead and keep doing the things that you're doing, getting better each and every year, and going and scoring an A on every test that you do that the Lord puts before you, one day you will have everything that your mind, your heart ever desired. You'll have it. Because one of the most important things when you're reaching for the prize, God will keep his promise. God will keep his promise. And when he does that, what are you going to do? You need to realize the purpose. Everybody in life has a purpose. You believe everybody has a purpose?
Absolutely.
Everybody has a purpose in life. And I was at a point where for a whole year, I lived out of a bag. There's a bag, it was like a duffel bag. All my clothes in there. I had clothes in the storage. I had my car. I had this Land Rover that I had. And it was like, trying to do some things in my life, trying to survive it. I lost my house. My wife and kids left. Financially, trying to build this company. Had an office, slept on the office floor sometime. Washed up in the sink sometime in the restroom. Went to the gym, to not just to work out, but just to a place where I could shower. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, and then when I get a little money, I would stay at a hotel. And it was like, wow, all the challenges. And then when I get dressed, I go to the storage area, closing the storage area, and I would get dressed from there. And then I ran low on money, and one day said, hey, you come get your stuff. And they took all my stuff. They locked up the storage and sold my stuff. It was like, there's my clothes. There's my clothes. Just got the duffel bag. It's like, wow. And then, I reached out, I asked for help from different organizations. I said, hey, could you help me do this? I went to different people at the church and all this stuff. Do you know believe it or not, I got no response. People said, well, right now, at this time, they'll make promises, but it would never happen. It would never happen. And I'm like, well, what about people that are like me? And that you say you're here to help these kind of people that's like me. And I am one of your people, I was like, whoa. Here I am. I was a pastor for what, 6, 7 years prior to this. And I'm like, well, you mean you can't help me? I was upset. I was angry. Because it takes a thing of getting rid of pride to come and ask somebody for, hey man, I need help. And people say, yeah, there were some people that were nice, but they would say, yeah, but nobody would say, hey, could you want to crash on my couch tonight? See, folks, before Dr. Hutch, there was a struggle. There was a thing where I was at a point where I could have given up. But I knew I had purpose. I knew I had a plan. This is Dr. Hutch. When we come back, I'll finish my story.